Well, this is the last time I can say this to Tammy, but Madam Chair and Moderator Reynolds, we are at 7 o'clock, so it is time to begin our annual meeting.
Great. Well, I welcome everybody, and our moderator has asked me to start the meeting with the pledge, as we normally would. So please join me in the pledge, and Doug is holding up the flag for us. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I will turn it over to Grant.
Meeting will please come to order. That was my house phone. As a reminder, this annual meeting has been warned in accordance and alignment with most of the other annual meetings and town meetings across the state in this unique pandemic season. These meetings historically do not have a warned article for public input or announcements, but may have historically had an article for other business. This meeting will recess to town meeting day after its conclusion, as all of the warned articles that require district action will be voted on by the voters on Tuesday via Australian ballot. There is not an opportunity this year for any new business or amendments to be added to the warned meeting action, due to the fact this meeting will not have any action taken. This meeting is informational. All actions have been warned and will be voted on by community members on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. There will be an opportunity to ask questions about the budget after Article 4, which asks the voters to approve the school board's estimate of the amount of money necessary to spend for the next school year. Article 1, to elect the following officers: moderator, clerk, treasurer, by Australian ballot on Tuesday. Tammy, do you have the names of the candidates?
Yes, I do, Grant. So for moderator, we have Grant Reynolds. For clerk, we have no one submitted any candidate consent form. And then for treasurer, Denise Patch.
And those people at least will appear on your ballot for Tuesday. Article 2, to authorize the Board of School Directors to borrow money pending receipt of payment from district towns by the issuance of notes or orders payable not later than 1 year from date. This will be voted on by Australian ballot. Article 3, to have presented by the Board of School Directors their estimate of the expenses for the ensuing year. This is a public informational hearing regarding the budget article. And connected to it, Article 4, shall the voters of the Mill River Unified Union School District approve the board to expend $18,896,395, which is the amount the school board has determined to be necessary for the ensuing fiscal year. Voted on Tuesday by Australian ballot. It is estimated this proposed budget, if approved, will result in education spending of $17,543.15, per equalized pupil. This projected spending per equalized pupil is 0.98% lower than spending for the current year. I am advised that the budget will be presented by Liz Philscoff. At the conclusion of her presentation, the floor will be open for questions. If you choose to ask a question, please raise your hand and I will try to recognize people in order. When you speak, first, please give your name and the town that you're from. Liz?
Good evening. The overall fiscal year 22 expenditure budget is $18,896,395, which is up to $32,854 or 0.17% over last year, which is less than 0.25%. The preliminary number for equalized pupils is, the number for equalized pupils is 780.29, which is higher than the previous year by 7.56 or up 0.98%. Our education spending grant is $13,688,744, which is down $1,359 or 0.01%. The education spending grant per pupil, as Mr. Reynolds said, is $17,543.15, which is down by $173.39 or 0.98%. The Mill River Union Unified School District Board of Directors approved the FY22 budget on January 6th at a regularly scheduled meeting. At that time, the board approved a $200,000 appropriation for the Capital Sinking Fund. Additionally, the Mill River Union Unified School District tuition rate for 2021-2022 is set at $16,750 for elementary school students and $16,600 for Mill River Union students. I want to thank members of the board, Superintendent Younts, and the district business manager, Stan Palasic, for excellent stewardship of taxpayer dollars. Thank you.
Any questions for Liz? If there are no questions, we'll proceed to Article 5. Shall the voters authorize the district to transfer the audited, unanticipated surplus funds remaining at the end of FY21 to the building sinking fund, not to exceed $200,000. As with Article 4, Article 5 will be voted on Tuesday by Australian ballot. There are no questions.
Grant, I see that Mr. Fillmore has his hand up.
Who is it?
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm kind of curious as to where that $200,000 of funds came from. I haven't had a chance to really thoroughly look at the budget yet. Liz, could you maybe elaborate?
Todd, could you just state your full name and town for Heather?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
yeah.
Terribly sorry. Todd Fillmore from Shrewsbury. So I'll repeat the question. The $200,000 of surplus funds, where did those funds come from?
Those funds come from the surplus projection, the surplus balance.
I see. So they're just unallocated presently?
Well, they're allocated to the sinking fund.
Understood. But I'm saying that this money it accumulated somehow.
I'm
Was it
going to interrupt. I beg your pardon.
fair point?
Stan Polasek is much better suited to respond, and he's signaling that he would like to speak to this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Article 5 is with what you're voting on. The money, the 200,000 is not there right now. If at the end of FY21 school year, we have an unanticipated surplus that we did not expect, we are asking the voters to place those unanticipated surplus funds up to 200,000 into the building sinking fund. So that 200,000 currently does not exist.
Thank you.
Yep.
Others? If not, this meeting will be recessed until March 2nd, 2021, town meeting day, for the purpose of voting by Australian ballot at the usual polling places in the district towns. Said ballots shall be brought to the Mill River Union High School cafeteria following the closing of the polls in the district towns, where they will be commingled and counted by the officers of the district towns. And since we have just been recessed until next Tuesday, that's the end of the broadcast.
Thank you, Grant.